heard from Mike?
No, Ross.
That means he must have run into a dead end. He's probably on his way home. You know, I called Dr. Hunt again, and his service said he's going to be back sometime before the first of the year, so I guess I have at least something to look forward to.
Have you had lunch?
No, I haven't even thought about eating.
Well, why don't I run upstairs and see if Carrie will come down and join us for some lunch?
All right, but I have a feeling what her answer's going to be.
I don't know whether it's Christmas or being around the children, but I think maybe she softened a little.
Jackie, I would really like to believe that.
We'll see. To Ross, from Carrie. I didn't expect to find you in here. I knew if Samantha was sleeping. I don't think there's anything more securing, yet at the same time vulnerable than a sleeping baby. Surrounded by love and yet unable to communicate. I never thought of it that way. You know, that happens to adults sometimes. Sometimes the deepest feelings are impossible to verbalize. Jackie, I want you to know that I feel really surrounded by love in this house, and I'm very grateful to you for it. And I don't want you to take it personally. You're Justin if I don't tell you. Neither Justin or I do. But we can't stand by and watch someone we love cut herself off from the help so many people want to give her. Carrie, I have to talk to you about something. I haven't mentioned it to Justin and certainly not to Ross because I knew that it was a very personal moment that I happened to intrude on.
What are you talking about?
When I came downstairs with Samantha yesterday, you were standing at the Christmas tree. It was almost as if you were talking to someone who was really there. Carrie, I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but from what I heard, it was as if you were talking to someone you loved once very deeply and were hoping he'd understand what had happened between you and Ross.
Jackie, do you think you could forget you ever heard that? It was just walking into this house and being hit with all the Christmas spirit. Jackie, will you promise me that you won't tell Ross?
Carrie, I love you very much. But I can't promise you that. Because if it's something that could help Ross get to the truth that could save you, I'd have to tell him.
Dr. Piper told me it was the first emotional reaction he's ever seen from her. But when it was over, she withdrew again.
Mike, I'm just sorry that you went out there and you ran into another dead end.
Yeah, it may not be, Ross. In fact, I was just getting ready to call you. Dr. Piper didn't recognize the photograph of Joe Bradley, but he did think there was a chance that Joe might have been here, so he let me check through the visiting records for the past few months.
Well, listen, did you find Joe's name?
No, but I found Carrie's. She's obviously been here several times since she started working for Spaulding Enterprises.
I also found out that Mrs. Mackenzie had another visitor during that time who had an Omaha address, so I copied it down for you.
Listen, Mike, I can't thank you enough for this.
Yeah. Well, okay, but I'm not finished.
I asked Dr. Piper if I could go back through some of the old visitors' records in hopes I could find something more for you. And I think I did. Diane Ballard came here once to visit Mrs. Mackenzie about 5 years ago.
And that's not all. Dr. Piper seemed to recognize the name Diane Ballard when I asked him about it. And it seemed that some years ago, Diane gave the nursing home a check to be used for Mrs. Mackenzie's care.
But as Dr. Piper recalls, and this is backed up by some records, Carrie Anderson was violently opposed to their using any of Diane's money for Mrs. Mackenzie and insisted the check be destroyed.
In fact, when the head bookkeeper disagreed, Carrie became almost violent and ripped it up herself.
We will continue with part 2 of Guiding Light in a moment.
Can't imagine Blanche being defeated by anything, least of all an airline.
Well, she's been pulling every string possible. It's just that with all the holiday traffic, there's not any space. So she's called Mr. Wonderful, whoever he is, in San Francisco to tell him she's going to be here until tomorrow or the next day, which means she's going to be with me.
Listen, Mom's invitation is still open. Why don't you bring her
Oh,
along?
no. I wouldn't dream of doing that because she has a way of saying the wrong thing to the wrong people. And she did it all night last night at the party.
Henry seemed to be enjoying himself.
Oh, I couldn't believe it when my father walked in on Mrs. Reardon's arm, really.
Hello, fourth floor, Miss Bauer. Yes, he is.
Once in a while.
Okay, I'll tell him.
He got his right to enjoy.
Yes, I'm going to tell him. Goodbye, Katie. That was Katie. She wanted me to remind you that the party for the kids on pediatrics is on 3 and she expects you.
Right, okay, I'm on my way. Listen, you want to come? See?
Sure.
Hi there. Hi there.
Oh, hi. I didn't expect to see you, especially with Mike out of town.
Well, he's just about to arrive, and things have slowed down at the office a little bit. You realize this is going to be our first Christmas together? Never look forward to one more.
I feel the same way. Oh, by the way, I talked to Morgan, and she wants us to find time tomorrow to come by and look at their tree and exchange gifts.
Oh, good, good. Looks like we'll be getting around quite a bit. The Reardons have invited us over, too.
Oh, great. Wonder if Nolla's going to be back from San Francisco.
Well, I have no idea, but I know that Bea has invited Nola and Mr. McCord if they get back in time.
Oh, terrific.
I'm sorry to bring you such disappointing news, but I want you to know right away.
Well, I'll tell you, I found it hard to believe that a big recording star like Nick Silver would do one of my songs anyway.
Come on, Floyd. It's just a temporary setback. We can't let it discourage us.
I'm not discouraged. Well, maybe Nola was right. I mean, whoever heard of a maintenance supervisor becoming a big songwriter?
You don't need that kind of negative thinking, Floyd.
Say, listen, I gotta get down to 3 to help Katie with that Christmas party for the kids.
Fine. I'm heading up there, too. Morgan mentioned it to me earlier, and I just told her I'd try to catch her.
Good.
Well, I got to get going or I'm going to be late, and Katie's going to have my scalp.
Tony, how am I going to get her to leave? Look, she drank almost half that bottle of it.
I'm sure she's going to leave soon. She's got the driver in the car waiting outside. She's got to go to the airport and pick up Mr. McCord and Nola, right?
So long, Mrs. Renfield. It was nice seeing you again.
You too, Anthony. Have a very happy holiday.
Thanks, I will.
Well, can I get you some cookies or a sandwich or something to go with your wine?
Oh, no, thank you, Mrs. Reardon. I really do have to leave very soon. Oh, I do hope I'm not keeping you from anything.
Oh, no. I'm just happy to have a chance to repay your hospitality for a change.
Mr. McCord is very fond of Nola's family. He's really a family man.
He's a very unusual man in a lot of ways, and I'm very grateful to him. He's been so nice to Nola. It's a relief for me, with the baby coming in a few months.
Mrs. Reardon, I don't mean to pry, but Nola is so reluctant to talk about the baby's father. Mr. McCord feels very strongly that the father of the child should be assuming some of the responsibility now.
Well, Mrs. Renfield, Nola does not like discussing this, even with me. But I can tell you that the baby's father is more than willing to take his share of the responsibility. It's just that Nola is set on doing it herself.
I assume you're acquainted with the young man?
Yes. He is a very hard-working young man. I'm sure he's going to be very successful someday.
I forgot the cookies you baked for the kids at the hospital.
Oh, dear. Oh, wait a minute. I've got some more here. Hold on. Would you do me a favor, honey, and would you give these to Kelly?
Sure.
I baked his favorites. He used to love them when he lived here, and I'm afraid if Nola comes back tomorrow, he's not going to want to drop by.
Yeah, I'll make sure you get some. Bye.
Who wants one? Me.
Oh,
When did it come? Okay, here we go.
Boy, man, you knocked those kids out. They loved it. They loved it.
Well, Dr. Bauer's Christmas story is a hard act to follow. It really got to me when I started looking at all the kids' faces. It started me thinking about, soon I'll have my own.
Okay, now listen up, troops. Okay, can everybody hear me? Listen, Santa, you listen? Santa is going to pay us a visit pretty soon, okay? But before he does, I'd like to put a friend of mine on the spot just a little bit. He's happens to be working on this floor right now, and last year he sang at a Christmas party that this little lady that he's standing next to, which is now his wife, arranged to have. Hello, Kelly. So I think if we gave him a nice round of applause, he might sing for us today.
Either way, you're not getting out of it this time. Come on. Thanks.
Thanks, gang. Okay.
My wife and I would like to sing this Christmas. Linda, could you help us out on the piano? Do you think? I'd like to sing a song for you. Now it's Christmas time. I'm a teacher.
It's Christmas everywhere. The spirit captures everyone. No matter who you are, just run and stand below the mistletoe, and then you know
It's Christmas once again. It seems like only yesterday we put away the stars. Time flies, 'cause here we are, so warm, one family around the tree. Now it's Christmas time, the bells will chime, they bring on joy and laughter. Sing this song with me, help light the tree. All this and then there's Santa's smile. He'll find his way, you'll guide his sleigh with all your love. I watched the children play, building snowmen every place. I felt so good inside, the tear rolled down my face. My heart and soul just cried and opened wide. Now it's Christmas time, the bells will chime, they bring on joy and laughter. Sing this song with me, help light the tree. All this and then there's Santa's smile. He'll find his way, you'll guide his sleigh with all your love. Now it's Christmas time.
it's Christmas time.
I think this is going to be the best of all possible Christmases.